MCU fans, welcome to E equals MCU. It's your boy Armand here with a story that broke over the weekend that I just had to cover. I am excited about these rumors and that the fact that they're picking up more steam. Here shows article written over the weekend over the direct, and I want to give credit where credit is due. I believe Daniel RPK first broke this story on Twitter over the weekend, and then they wrote this article. So it says here, Netflix's Daredevil cast rumored for return in upcoming MCU Disney Plus show. There's a lot to unpack here, guys. Let's get into this. All right, Daredevil was arguably the most popular and successful show on the Netflix roster when their Marvel show was airing. When it was canceled, many people were understandably disappointed. Hashtag save Daredevil. Many people thought that would be the last time they saw Charlie Cox in the role, with Marvel Studios taking over the television side of things and all. Thankfully, if recent rumors are to be believed, things might be looking up for Cox fans. There have been loud whispers for some time now that the actor will be taking up the role once again in Spider-Man No Way Home this December. In fact, many people believe they saw the famous lawyer in the trailer, which update on that has been debunked. That was not him. But while it's yet to be seen if he will in fact return in Tom Holland's third solo outing, a new rumor claims that the character is set to get a core role in the upcoming yet still not officially announced Echo show for Disney Plus, which hopefully that is updated on Disney Plus Day coming up here. So via his Patreon account, reliable scooper Daniel RPK, revealed that Marvel Studios is planning to give Daredevil his own project again down the line, with Charlie Cox in the leading role. However, in the meantime, Rickman goes on to say that the Echo show will feature the return of most of the main cast from Daredevil, who will all play a big part. Rickman mentions how the show may feel like Daredevil Season 4 because of it, but clarifies, saying, to be clear, this is still very much Echo's show, and that Echo is still the lead of her own show. The scooper divulged how these returning characters will be somewhat soft rebooted into the MCU. Now, what does this mean? Well, they will all still have a story with one another, but some may look different in ways and boast slightly new backgrounds. The same actors will be bringing them to life through this change, though. It's important to note that this is not officially from Disney or Marvel Studios, and this information is still just a rumor for the time being, so take that with a grain of salt. Now, going on to the second part of the article. Daredevil's back, baby. The Spider-Man No Way Home news was exciting in of itself, but to learn that the blind vigilante has even bigger future in the MCU is incredible. A sentiment many fans across the world are likely to share. Many will likely worry that all of this may take away from Aquala Cox, first solo outing following her MCU debut in Hawkeye. Hope I said her name right. And the worry is valid. However, given the fact that her name is the show's title and its creation was a huge step forward by Marvel Studios as it was, it's probably safe to assume Marvel knows that at the end of the day, Echo is the one in the spotlight. After all, Captain America Civil War had nearly every Avenger and big supporting character in the MCU showcased within it, and at the end of the day, it was still very much a Captain America story. Not to mention characters such as Daredevil and Wilson Fisk both have integral parts and connections with Echo's character in the comics. For example, Maya Lopez is actually Fisk's daughter, or adopted daughter, in the source material, which could explain all of those Vincent D'Onofrio return rumors about Hawkeye. Disney Plus's Hawkeye will be streaming on November 24th later this year, with Echo reportedly beginning production early next year. And that is the end of the article. So let's dive into this. Couple of points that I wanted to point out, just from information that I have and that I know about it. It sounds like Hawkeye is the beginning of the street level heroes world kind of being forged in Marvel Studios. There were reports that Hawkeye would no longer be an Avenger going forward, and it sounds like they're going to use that character and tie him more in with the street level characters, which makes more sense because a lot of the street level characters don't have the power set that a lot of the Avengers have. So I like that move by Marvel Studios. Now, one thing I will give them credit for, and they said here in the article, Captain America Civil War was a big crossover event back in 2016 for Marvel Studios, and I think they nailed it just from the standpoint of balancing all of the characters that were in the movie and still having Captain America be the focal point of the movie. They've shown that they can kind of do that balancing act with titles like that, and I think Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness will be another test to that. But given their track record and how they understand the characters and how to make that work, I can totally see Echo having her own story and her own show, and them playing the Daredevil cast and characters off of that story perfectly. I am very, very intrigued to see how they do that, but I can see them meshing that perfectly. And I think they'll be able to answer questions and pick up the storyline for where they want the characters to be and their version, whether they're multiverse characters or they're just already in that world. They'll be able to clear up a lot of the questions about the canonization of the Netflix shows. Make no mistake, they're not going to canonize any of the Netflix shows, so I don't think the storylines and the things that happen on those shows are going to much matter going forward with those characters. But I am excited for all of the actors involved with Daredevil, because that was an excellent cast, and a lot of them haven't really worked a lot in Hollywood since the show has been done. Now, a part of me wonders if a lot of that is contractual, in the sense that they maybe have been told that, hey, we're going to try to do something with you guys down the line, so keep your schedules open. But we may not necessarily be able to, we have to wait until the 2 years on the Netflix contract is up before we can do anything. And it's hard for some actors to do. It depends on your situation, whether or not you can hold out that long. So, but it definitely sounds like, the guy that plays Foggy and Deborah Ann Wall and, of course, Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox are coming back. Now, the relationship with the night nurse, which was played by Rosario Dawson, she may return as well, but I know she's shooting Ahsoka for Disney right now, or fairly soon, if not already shooting it. So she's already kind of in the wheelhouse, and I could definitely see her character maybe coming back, just as even if it was just a cameo, just to be included. So I think that would be cool. And I think, and from what they're saying here, Echo was kind of going to be the introduction to all of them and to his character, and I was told that he will be wearing the yellow Daredevil suit when he premieres in Marvel Studios. I do have a picture of that on screen right now. He's going to be wearing that suit when he appears, so I think what you're going to get is an introduction to these characters and where they're at, and then they're going to probably leave Echo and then go into their own story. And I think you can kind of see how all of this lines up. They're not necessarily doing season 2s or like continuations of the story. It's like they're taking a character to focal on, and then they're tying into other characters, and then that character gets their own show. And then they'll introduce more characters, and then a bright character from that show will get its own show. And that's kind of like the plan that they've been doing. I heard that that's what they're doing with Moon Knight and Werewolf by Night, and setting up a lot of the darker MCU world that they're trying to get going, and it looks like they're going to use Hawkeye to do that with the street level heroes. So I'm excited for what all that entails in the upcoming years, what that brings as far as what other characters will we get. Now, aside from that, the young lady that plays Echo, this is a huge opportunity for her, and I hear, from what I've heard from behind the scenes, is that she kills it in the Hawkeye series. I mean, the rumblings of her getting her own show started after they did the test readings and the test shootings before they actually went on film on set. So just from her auditioning and her chemistry and everything with the other actors on the show is when they started, planting the seeds of, hey, maybe we can do a solo show with her and have her be a spinoff of this. And the thing about it that's excellent is that it's a new character that has not, had its time to shine, so to speak, and by tying, by tying Daredevil's cast to it, you're gonna get a lot of people who's gonna check out a new character based on nostalgia of what they know of the older characters, and I think that is brilliant. I'm not so worried about them overshadowing her in her own story. I just hope they tell a really cool, compelling story that sets up their universe for the Daredevil cast, so that we can get an official Daredevil season 4, which is rumored to be called Daredevil: The Man with No Fear. And that's actually going to be the name of it. They can't just do Marvel Daredevil because that was done on Netflix. So it does sound like it's going to be a soft reboot. And I've speculated on that before. It's going to be a soft reboot. But I know some fans are just holding out hope that, it is still connected to the MCU. I guess we just have to wait and see what they come up with. And then we'll know once we start getting these shows and Spider-Man No Way Home, we'll know how all of this is going to reside. But that's the news on it, guys. Hashtag Save Daredevil. Looks like it worked. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this project. I'm excited for all of these string of projects because I know they're all going to connect to each other. So let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this. If you're excited about this, what other characters from the Daredevil show you may want to see return? Like, for instance, Turk. That was one of the fan favorites that kept popping up in all of the Netflix shows. Will he get a chance to return? So let me know what other characters though you want to return and see in this show. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'm out.